So record has been hit. You guys welcome to our Monday Mastermind call. Very excited to have Greg Armfield on the hot seat today. And Greg let us know that today he's going to be talking about kind of what he's been doing on his team to leverage our launch in the United Kingdom, which is very exciting. We go live in the UK in 10 days. We're now T-minus 10 for the UK. What I love about this international expansion, again, if you just look at Beachbody as an entity, and how big the company has grown, how quickly it's to the size that it is, all in North America. And so I'm excited about the UK launch, not just because it's another market or another blue ocean that we can go to, but I believe it will unlock the door to additional international expansion. And so the UK launch is a great opportunity to kind of learn how to do that, learn how to, do an international launch, so that as we open Australia, New Zealand, and Mexico, and other countries in Europe, we get better and better every time we do this. So appreciate Greg being willing to share with us what he and his team are doing for the UK, because I know that he's invested a lot of time, money, learning experience, and what has worked and what has not worked that he's willing to share with us. So appreciate that, Greg. I'm going to turn the time over to you.
All right. Thanks, Craig. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are all already recruiting in the UK, and you guys can share what you guys are doing, afterwards. So always open to new ideas. I did, share this with my team and a couple months ago when we started, and a couple of them took me up on it, and we started doing it together, and we created a Facebook group, a UK pre-launch, basically a coaching group. Now we have like 100 and some people in there from the UK. So it's pretty awesome, considering that there were only like 3 of us that were, actively recruiting and doing this. I'll just walk you through like what I'm doing, and you can, let me share my screen with you guys. Let's see. Okay. Can you guys see that? Okay, so first, this is just to show you, this is my UK group that I have. Basically, a welcome post. We've done some, I tell them about the London event, and I have a webinar that we've done that they can watch to give them an overview, and it's just some other things like that. And basically I try to post in here every day, like here's the 10-day, thing, and, or, at least 3 or 4 times a week. And I also relay information from the corporate UK group, and I'm sure you guys are all in the corporate UK coach group. But it's got like over 5,000 people in it. So I haven't been adding all my people to that. I just relay information about the events and stuff that they have going on, and they have some great speakers. Also, like today, I always do stuff every Monday. So every Monday I'll go live or give them some type of training for in this group. Today we're actually doing an event. You can see like right here, so I can click on this, and this is like a sneak peek. So you can see I've already had, and the great thing about this is I've had my UK people, how you typically ask your coaches, and I have had some coaches, go live in here and tell their story. But the other thing that I've asked is I've asked some UK people that are already committed to joining our team to go live. So it's pretty cool to hear their story, and how they have unofficially been part of our team for a while, and why they are joining. So that's cool. And then we're me and some of my leaders, we're going to go live in here at 8 p.m. their time, which as you know is like 3 p.m. our time. So we do that every Monday. So back to the group. So yeah, I do share like the recorded calls, like Kim and Arnold, and you know, the pricing and stuff that we've done. And let's see what else. I go live in there and share videos about, you know, whatever, Shakeology or whatever. So basically my whole team is able to add anybody who's interested in the coaching opportunity in here. We don't treat this as a challenge group, so no one's like posting their workouts or anything like that. I have a separate group where people, you know, we try to get UK coaches or, you know, people who are interested in coaching to sign up for Beachbody On Demand in the UK, right? So they could just go to Beachbody CO UK and they can sign up for Beachbody On Demand there. And then we add them into we have a separate challenge group, right, for them and for us and my coaches and stuff like that. So you can share our accountability in that group. So let me just share like, you know, for example, an ad that I'm running. Here is, I've tried different ads, but here's the basic one. And you can see I just took a stock photo with the, you know, the trainers, and I added the flag, the UK flag behind it. And then I have a link. So I don't do, I typically don't do the engagement ad. If you guys are familiar with ads, I do the link click, right? So I only want to pay if they click the link to my website. So if you click on this link, basically it takes you over to my blog, and I do have, you know, an actual website and a blog, but I tell my coaches, if you don't, you know, just create, you know, a Google form or you know, whatever form, Woofu form or whatever form that you want to create. And, you know, I've got Carl's video in here, and I've got basically this form that they can fill out embedded in it. And I have a video for me, and I talk about our team, obviously, and, you know, an intro about Team Beachbody going to the UK and stuff like that. So, you know, your standard stuff. But one thing that's interesting that I think is interesting, you guys might think is interesting, is this form that I have embedded here. It is it links into a CRM that I started using. Now, you know, there are different CRMs out there. Like there's ones that market to just Beachbody coaches. You know, you guys are familiar with them, I'm sure, but they're all very expensive, you know, like $30 a month. So I did some research because I don't feel comfortable, you know, telling my team and my coaches, especially new coaches, that, yeah, you need to go, you know, spend $30 a month on a CRM system to help you get organized, you know. So I did some research, and one of the leading ones that is free is called Insightly. So I started using that mainly for this UK launch, and just so that I can get familiar with it. And it is, you know, completely free, and it can do everything. And when they submit the form, what happens is, you can see right here, this is Insightly. It comes in as a lead, and it creates a record for me. And, you know, you can see here I did Greg test, and basically it comes in as a lead, and then I can convert it into an opportunity or contact. So, and it even does, you can track, you can convert them into contacts, and then you can also create opportunities out of them where you have, it's just like Google Streak, where you can have your pipeline, you know, essentially you can set up stages, as many stages as you want. You can create then from your opportunities. The great thing about Insightly is you can actually create projects like from your opportunity. So like once you win the sale, like if then you have a set of steps, like get them into challenge groups, you know, try to upsell them on whatever, you can create projects for that. But let me show you what I'm doing right now is basically you can see, you know, Greg test here. If I click on this, you know, it gives me all the information about it. A lead in Insightly is basically, you know, someone to follow up with to see if they are a viable contact or you know, a viable opportunity. But typically what I'll do is I just, let's see, change lead to a contact, and I just, click this. And now what happens is it converted Greg Test into a contact for me, and you can see all the information is there. But the great thing about this, and the great thing that I wanted to get more organized with the CRM, is because I can track all emails like to contacts now. Because when you message people on Facebook or you email them, you got your messages and stuff all over the place. So the great thing about having a CRM, and the thing that I struggled with, because I always used like a spreadsheet, right? And I would put little notes on the spreadsheet, but then all my conversations are like in Facebook and email and everywhere else, and they're not attached to that spreadsheet. So the nice thing about a CRM, right, is it attaches everything. And so you can see like every email, you can see every history you have with them, you can create notes, and you can, attach notes, you can attach files, you can even set up tasks. So just like other CRMs where you want to follow up with somebody every single month, you can set up a task to do that, or in 5 days. And it can also trigger off workflows. So you can set up workflows so that when you create a contact, it automatically creates tasks for you to do, So what I typically do is I will come into like, here into emails, and let me see. If I want to send this person an email, I can just click on send email, and it's right within Insightly. And the thing that I really liked about it is I could set up email templates right within Insightly. And basically I can, select the UK coach welcome template, and, it automatically populates their name. So it'll say, hi Greg, in this case. And I give them a link to my Facebook, and I give them a webinar on, what coaching is, and I shoot them off, this email. Here, I'll go ahead and send it. Send now. I could schedule it for later or send it now. And then you can see all my emails to all my contacts, and I can click on contacts. And another great thing about this, not to go too deeply into Insightly, but like my new contact doesn't have any tags yet. So what I would typically do is I would click on this, and then I would add tags. So I would say this is a UK prospect, and I would add a tag for I've sent a welcome email, right? And then I have tags for, follow up, whether I got them in the group or not. Did they reply, or are they ready to go, or are they a dead lead? So I do all these things with basically, tags. And once I do that, and then what I can do is I could go back to contacts, and I can say, who all, show me all my welcome ones. So these are people that I've only sent a welcome message to, and they haven't responded yet. So I could select them all at the same time, and I could shoot them all my second template, which is my follow-up email. So it's great that way. And again, it's like completely free, so that's kind of why I liked it and chose this one. So anyway, any questions on Insightly before we move on? All right. In addition to the Facebook ad, I started going into, what you guys probably do as well, going into Facebook groups, right? You can search UK groups. Thing I noticed about those is they're already filled with Beachbody coaches, just about every UK group that you can think of. But what I would try to do is, pick groups that, maybe people weren't, didn't have that many coaches in. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like just posting in their groups and like, hey, come join my team or whatever, So what I do is I've just started striking up conversations with people and messaging them privately. I even found one of my UK people, they shared a Beachbody ad, an advertisement. And that was great because Beachbody was marketing it directly to the UK. So it had thousands of people already commenting. It was like a Sean T, T25, video for Beachbody On Demand that they were marketing into the UK. So basically I went through and I just, Facebook allows you to private message, I don't know, 50 or 100 people a day before they start blocking you, So, they'll pop up that little box that says, enter a code to make sure you're not a bot. And then for the next 24 hours, you have to enter a code every time you want to talk to somebody. But, so I just started doing that. So I do 100 a day, and then just start messaging and trying to strike up conversations with people like, hey, I see that you're, that you like the Beachbody On Demand. What program are you doing? Strike up conversations and then get them into my group. And I had coaches that started doing that successfully as well. And
Greg, sorry, can I stop you there? Are you
Yep.
saying that you work on starting 100 new conversations a day?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to clearly restate that that is the goal that you have had. And
Well, I mean, as many as Facebook allows. I haven't counted it. I just keep going until they tell me to stop, and then I stop.
Gotcha.
So it may be 50.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Thanks.
But and then you're kind of blocked for 24 hours. So maybe every other day I'm doing 50 or 100 or whatever, So I started doing that, and that started working out, and some of my coaches started doing that and picking up a lot of personal trainers and stuff like that. They didn't even know what Beachbody is, but we got them into the group and we, told them more about it, and they were excited about it and stuff like that. So, so that worked out well. The other thing that I chatted about, right, within the chat group, and Craig, that I started running Google AdWords ads. So I don't know if you guys are familiar that you can do Google ads, right? Just like you do Facebook ads. And basically you enter in keywords, and that's so when somebody searches on those keywords, then that pulls up your ad, right, with Google, right, your link to your blog, right? And I was using keywords like Beachbody Coach, and I was targeting people in the UK, or Teen Beachbody Coach, or things like that. Sean T Coach or whatever, or Insanity Coach or P90X Coach. I was using all those terms, and I was getting great response on those. A lot of people were searching on those in the UK, and I was getting a ton of people that were filling out my form from those ads. But then Jemima contacted me and said, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to bid up Google keywords that have their trademark names. So I had to stop that. And now I'm still running Google AdWords, but I'm doing things like fitness coach in the UK, or online fitness coach, or work from home coaching and stuff like that, which obviously isn't as effective, So that one is I'm still running it, but it's not as effective as it was. Now my Facebook ads, my Instagram ads, those are still working, and then still going in private messaging people is still working for me and for my team. I had one of my coaches who was adding a person a day into the group, and he just started doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing? How much money are you spending on this? And he's like, nothing. I'm just doing what you said. Just go into groups and start messaging people. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So that worked out well. And then I've tried different ads. Like here, I go into Ad Manager. Let's see if I click on this one. And this one is an engagement ad. I just try different things, and you can see this one is you guys know that Sean T is definitely the most popular person in the UK. So don't even bother with Tony or Autumn or anybody, but yeah, you throw Sean T out there, and he definitely gets a ton of engagement. So you can see, here's my my latest ad. It's got the same text, the same. It takes the same blog. It's just features Sean T more prominently, and that one's doing really well. I think it's let's see, I'm getting 9 cents an engagement, so that's pretty good. Here's my previous one where I was doing clicks, and I was paying 25 cents a click, so that was pretty good too. Not everybody fills out the form, but at least if they're clicking on it, if they're watching my videos, So I'm getting exposure that way. So that's basically it. What I'm doing, what my team's doing, like I said, we're running, webinar tonight, and I boosted that webinar and inviting people to that. And I have my team inviting to that. So that's a live sneak peek. It's at 3:00. We're going to go Facebook Live, and what I do is I go into the event and I'll kick it off, and then I have I'll invite my coaches on. So we do the Facebook duel, where you can do the side-by-side Facebook Live. If you guys have ever tried that, that's pretty cool. And I'll introduce another coach, and I'll bring them in, to the Facebook Live with me. And then, they tell their story, and they tell, about, I'll give them a topic to talk about in addition to telling their story, tell people about, the different ways you could become a coach and stuff like that. And then I'll remove them from the share with me, and then I'll add in the next coach, and I'll introduce them, and then they'll tell their story and talk about a couple topics as well. So that's how we handle our sneak peek in the UK, and like I said, we're doing one at 3:00. So, all right, so that's all I have. Let me stop the share. Any questions? Let me see the messages. These are cold messages, new conversations, Greg. Yes. I just try to. I don't try to pitch them on coaching in the conversation. I just try to start up a new conversation with them. It's like, hey, I saw you commented on, the Beachbody video on T25. Are you doing it? And I strike up conversations like that. And then if they respond to me, they'll say, yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years or whatever. And, I'll say, that's awesome. Are you working with a coach? No, well, great. Would you want to come join? I first, invite them into my workout group, my accountability group. And then I talk to them about coaching. And if they're interested, I would invite them into my coach group and stuff like that. How do you know they're from the UK? Well, with this I'll search on groups, right, that are specifically, say UK in them, like UK CrossFit or something like that, or this particular ad that I found because one of my UK people shared it. So it showed up on his timeline. So I looked at it, and I didn't know it was a UK ad, but when I looked, you can click on people, that comment or like it, you can click and you can look at their profile, and you can see they're from the UK, and every single person was from the UK. So I figured out that Beachbody was targeting it just to the UK. So that one worked out really well. With groups, obviously you find a lot of coaches in there, so you got to click on every single person and see, are they from the US? Are they from the UK? And, it takes time, but I find that by me clicking on their profile anyway, it gives me stuff to chat about, right? I get to look at their pictures and strike up a conversation about their dog or whatever,
Hey, Greg, I'm interested to know, what has to the group of people who are engaging with you, what's your message to them or your invite to them in terms of joining, Engaged Fitness? Is it more like, hey, join our community, we'll help, coach you and get you results? Or at what point are you offering hey, you should really consider, growing a coaching business in the UK? There's a great opportunity here, to be a coach. How are you managing those two different types of kind of calls to action, so to speak?
Well, it all depends. If they tell me they're already doing a program, like a Beachbody program, right? Then I'll just say, hey, why don't I'll add them into our group. I ask them if they're working with a coach, and if they're not, I add them into our, accountability fitness support group, right? Our Team Engage challenge group, essentially, that's open to everyone. I add them in there. And then, I'll just mention hey, did you know that the Team Beachbody coaching opportunity and Shakeology are coming to the UK on the 19th? And, I kind of strike up the conversation from there and see if they're interested or they might be interested. Now, if it's somebody that isn't doing a Beachbody program at all, maybe they're into some other type of fitness like CrossFit or running or yoga or whatever, I just tell them, I kind of just start, typically they are aware of Insanity, and I ask them if they've ever done a program like that in the past, and they have, and then I'll just bring up the conversation about the coaching opportunity and how it's coming to the UK on the 19th. And obviously I start by saying, I think you would make a great coach. You're already into fitness and you're doing, motivating people on your timeline and stuff like that. Is it something that you might be interested in,
Love it. Thank you.
And I'll give them a link to my blog so that I say, hey, if you can just go check out my blog and fill it out. And, I'll also add them into the group. And that way I can get their email and their contact and I can track them in Insightly and do all that,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, hey, you guys, any other questions for Greg? Dude, thanks for giving us a peek behind the curtain, so to speak. That was very insightly for me as well. Like that's a part of the business that a lot of times, like I'm talking to coaches about it, but I'm not seeing, what's going on behind the scenes. So that was very enlightening for me. You guys, any other questions or comments for Greg or for the group in general on today's call?
Would Insightly, is it like an extension of Google Streak, or would it replace Google Streak? Because I've got Google Streak Solid.
Okay. Well, then
totally different.
You don't need it. It's
Okay.
completely different. It's just it's a completely separate program like Asana or anything else. And obviously you don't need to have Gmail, right? Where Streak is only for Gmail. So, it's what is the name of that one that everybody uses that reminds you of like all your contacts and stuff like that?
Teamsy,
yes, right? So it's I was looking for something that was like TeamZ or there's one called Ninja something another, right? That these people are charging $30 for, and I was mainly looking for a replacement for those that I could recommend to my coaches,
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's worth people paying $30, to be reminded of this, And the great thing about Insightly is you can import all your contacts and it integrates into MailChimp if you use MailChimp, or it'll integrate right into your Gmail so that the emails go out as Gmail, right? And even if you go directly to your Gmail or whatever, you can just list or BCC your Insightly email and it'll track all your conversations. So then you can just go click on a contact and you can see all the conversations. So
no, it sounds really cool. I would just am not wanting to like be a squirrel. I'm like, do I need that? But it looked really neat. So
yeah, if you're good with Streak, it's just stick with Streak.
Okay. And for someone like myself, who when you're talking about, I know I know all the things you're talking about, but I actually like to go and do them. It gives me hives and anxiety. Would it be like, would finding someone that's really good with like search engine ops, like SEO skills, would that be like, instead of me doing it, would that be the best way to outsource something like that? Because I'm really interested in pursuing that, but I would spend like a week just trying to figure it out myself and not get anything done because I would be like paralyzed with it.
Yeah, you certainly could. I've looked into SEO optimization or optimizers, people that do that for you, and most of them they charge an awfully a lot, a lot of money, right, for something that's really not hard. It's basically when you create your blog, you create, just like you do on Instagram, right? You create your hashtags, you create your SEO words and things like that, and the AdWords, right? That's like a pay per click thing, right? So really it's super simple, and I could do a walkthrough with you if you wanted to,
Yeah, well, I'd be open to that. I hate when you're traveling too, so maybe when you get back. But one of my tasks I've committed to this week is making a landing page, like just going through and making a good one. And so maybe once I have that, then I'll take you up on that. I'll have to put some skin in the game first.
And Google has a ton of tools that are amazing, like Google Analytics, where you can see like how many people are clicking on your page, how long they're staying on your page, where are they leaving to, where are they coming from, so much information that you can incorporate. If you have a blog or something like that, that you can incorporate and use, from Google for free. It's all free.
Yeah, I know I'm leaving a lot of money on the table and just a lot of people on the table by not even just owning that part of it. So thank you. This was helpful to see all that.
Yeah. I love doing that. I love doing the technical side. The part I struggle with is like doing the content. It's like Melanie Mitro creates a blog like every single day almost. I don't know how she does that. It just blows my mind. So that's the part I struggle with.
Gotcha. Well, hey, Greg, thank you for sharing this. I like Dara's comment here. We do it in the UK the same way we do it in the US, by talking to people.
I've felt so paralyzed. How do I reach them? Like, what do they want to talk about? Like the same stuff that we talk about here. And I just needed that reminder from Greg, like, he created a group. Okay, we do that all the time. He started conversations. It's like nothing groundbreaking. I mean, all the technical stuff is a little like beyond me at where I'm at right now, but just the basics are the basics. And it was just a good reminder that I needed.
Yeah, and I mean, you certainly could, market like free groups or challenge groups too. I'm just not doing that yet, but it probably will be something that I will start doing after the 19th. I'm just trying to scoop up all the potential coaches that people, because there are so many, 65 million people over there, right, who have been doing Beachbody programs for 4 or 5 more years, right? And they're just dying to become coaches, right? And there's so many people that don't even know about the coaching opportunity yet. And those are the people that I'm going after right now.
Yeah, that's a great comment. I was going to say in closing, you guys, that, don't, just like I kind of how I mentioned with the double time thing and the whole, leverage the, this, donating money to the local PTA or school-based charity because it's leverageable, right? As a business owner, you want to do that. Same thing in the UK. Like don't miss out on the opportunity to say, again, talking about the coaching opportunity, that it is a groundbreaking opportunity. It's a brand new opportunity. It's an opportunity to take these worldwide brands and be able to represent them. It's an opportunity. I mean, like, definitely use this launch opportunity, this get in first. I know we have to be careful sometimes around marketing, around like groundbreaking opportunity or get in first, type of thing, but navigate your way around that because you want to attract people that might be looking for that opportunity to grow a business, to grow a home-based business, and they see Beachbody as something cool, something innovative, and they'll be ready to get in and do this. Or you may attract people that maybe have been at Isogenics or have been at other companies that already have a group of 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people that, they're not satisfied where they're at, and see this as the opportunity that, that they've been waiting for. They've just been waiting for something like this to come in, into, their realm of possibilities. And so also, definitely be bold and leverage the newness of the coaching opportunity in the UK to pique interest with those who might be, interested in running it as a business. So be bold with that. You might as well. You got nothing to lose. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll call it close for today, and we will see you back here next Monday. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.